Now let's talk about discriminants. So I'm going to put the quadratic equation back up. So negative b plus or minus square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. So within the quadratic equation, this part here is called the discriminant. So discriminant is the b squared minus 4ac. And this carries a lot of information, right? Because if you take the square root of this number and it exists, and if it's not 0, then two solutions exist, right? So then you get the plus whatever it is and then minus whatever it is. So you get two solutions. So let's talk about all the different cases that can happen. So the first one is when b squared minus 4ac is positive, first of all. And let's suppose it's a perfect square. So if it's a perfect square, it means you can take the square root and get a whole number. So it'll be negative b plus or minus the whole number over 2a. So you will have two solutions. And they will be rational. Rational because it's a perfect square, so you can take the square root. Okay, so if it was the same situation, and so it's positive, but let's suppose it was not a perfect square. So if it's not a perfect square, it means that you can't take the square root, or if you do, it's an irrational, right? So you'll still have negative b plus or minus some irrational number divided by 2a. So overall, you're going to have two solutions still, but it's going to be irrational because you won't be able to take the square root and get a whole number, or get any rational number for that matter. Okay, so those are the two cases where it's positive, and one is a perfect square, one of it's not a perfect square, and that determines if it's rational or irrational. They both have two solutions. The only time that you'll have one solution is when you have b squared minus 4ac, or the discriminant, is equal to 0. If it is equal to 0, then up here you get negative b plus or minus 0, right? Because the square root of 0 is 0, over 2a. So you don't have two solutions, you just have one solution. Negative b over 2a is your only solution. So you have one solution, and it's going to be rational, right? Because there's no square roots anywhere to make it irrational. And finally, what happens when the determinant is negative? So let me just go over here. Determinant is negative. So when the determinant is negative, it means here that I'll have a square root of a negative number. So that means it's a complex solution. You still have two solutions, but it'll be non-real complex. So non-real complex solution because you have a negative under the square root sign. Okay, and if you take a look at the textbook, this is nicely organized, much better than what I've done in a table. So once again, if the determinant is positive and it's a perfect square, then you get two solutions that are rational. If the determinant is positive but it's not a perfect square, then you get two solutions that are irrational. If the determinant is 0, you get one rational solution. If the determinant is negative, then you get two solutions that are non-real complex because you have a square root of a negative number.